Imagine this. You're holding a single penny in your hand. It looks ordinary, a coin you could have dropped in a parking meter decades ago. But what if that same penny could be the key to a life you've always dreamed of? A single coin from 1962 with a D-mint mark. A penny that today carries a jaw-dropping value of $962,000. Now pause for a moment. Think about your couch cushions, that jar of coins in your kitchen, or even the change you keep in your car's cup holder. Could it be hiding there? Could you be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it? Stay with me because over the next few minutes, I'll reveal why this coin is worth nearly $1 million, how to identify it, and the secrets that separate the lucky few who discover them from everyone else who lets these treasures slip through their fingers. But before we dive deeper, let me ask you a question. If you found nearly $1 million in a penny, would you spend it or frame it on your wall like a masterpiece? The 1962 D. Lincoln Memorial Penny was minted in Denver during an era when coins were struck in massive quantities. Billions were produced. So why in the world would one be worth almost $1 million? The answer lies in the imperfections. The tiniest errors, double dies, striking flaws, minting anomalies, turned what should have been ordinary copper into extraordinary treasure. Collectors call these coins lightning in a bottle. They're accidents of history that became icons of wealth. Here's the twist. Most people overlook them. They glance at the date, see 1962 D, and toss the coin aside. But what separates a penny worth 1 cent from one worth nearly $1 million is microscopic details. A doubled letter, a misaligned strike, or an unusual luster that reveals its rarity. And this is where fear comes in. Fear that you've already let one slip through your hands. Fear that you spent it at a gas station 20 years ago. Because the truth is, many people have. That's why these coins are so rare today. But don't worry. Hope is just as powerful as fear. Because if even one of these pennies still lies hidden in your old coffee can or tucked in your father's coin collection, you could rewrite your future overnight. By the way, if you're thinking, who even checks pennies anymore? Well, let me remind you. Somebody once threw away a Picasso painting thinking it was just an old sketch. And somebody else once cashed in a 1913 Liberty Head nickel for 5 cents, worth over $3 million today. So yes, it happens. And it happens more than you'd believe. Act 3, the payoff and transformation. So how do you know if your 1962 D. Lincoln penny is the golden ticket? Look for crisp details in Lincoln's portrait. Search for doubling in the words, "In God we trust." And pay attention to the condition. A pristine coin graded at the highest levels can leap from pocket change to nearly $1 million in the blink of an eye. The current market has confirmed it. Collectors are battling for top-grade specimens, and one recently reached an astonishing value of $962,000. That's not a typo. That's real money being exchanged, in today's market, for a single penny. Here's the urgency. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to find one. Every day, coins are lost, damaged, or hoarded away forever. The window of opportunity is closing, and the only question is whether you'll act now, or let this chance slip through your fingers like so many others before. Imagine paying off your mortgage with a penny. Imagine turning a dusty jar of coins into a retirement fund. Imagine telling your grandchildren the story of how a 1-cent coin changed your entire family's future. And here's the cliffhanger you won't want to miss. Because while the 1962 D penny is making headlines for its nearly $1 million value, there are other coins, hiding in plain sight, worth even more. In my next video, I'll uncover one that has stunned even the most seasoned collectors. You won't believe the numbers, so here's my challenge to you. Tonight, grab that old jar of coins, dig through your drawers, and check every single penny. Because that tiny piece of copper might just be your once-in-a-lifetime ticket to freedom, wealth, and the life you've always dreamed of. Imagine holding a single penny. Ordinary, forgettable, something most of us wouldn't even bother to bend down and pick up off the ground. But what if I told you that one specific penny minted in 1968 with a tiny S beneath Lincoln's portrait could transform an ordinary person's life into extraordinary wealth? Yes, a coin worth not just a few $100s, not just a few thousand, but up to $968,000 in today's market. Now, let me ask you this. How many pennies have passed through your hands in your lifetime? How many have slipped between couch cushions or disappeared into jars? Could one of them hold a secret fortune you've overlooked? Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes the 1968 Lincoln Memorial penny so rare, how to identify it, and why collectors are paying life-changing amounts for a coin most people ignore. And along the way, I'll share some surprising twists that might just keep you from ever looking at a penny the same way again. Let's rewind to 1968. America was in the middle of monumental change, civil rights marches, cultural revolutions, the space race. And right there, in the San Francisco Mint, millions of Lincoln cents were struck. But here's where the story sharpens. Among the ocean of ordinary copper coins, a small number emerged with unique characteristics, subtle details, variations that even expert collectors missed at first glance. These coins weren't flashy. They weren't marked treasure. But decades later, sharp-eyed numismatists began uncovering the truth. The 1968 penny carried hidden minting errors and qualities so rare that collectors began bidding astonishing amounts to own them. Now, before you think, all right, I'll just dump out my coin jar tonight, pause. This is where excitement meets fear. Because the value isn't in every 1968 penny. No, it's in the few that carry die errors, double dies, razor-sharp details, and near-perfect preservation. And here's the kicker. Some of these coins slipped unnoticed into circulation, hiding in pockets, piggy banks, and family heirlooms. Meaning one could be in your possession right now. Think about it. One penny, no bigger than your thumbnail, standing between you and nearly $1 million. Humor break? And all this time you've been chasing scratch-off lottery tickets. Who knew your best bet was sitting under your car's floor mat? But let's bring the tension back. Why are collectors willing to pay such high prices? Because in the world of numismatics, rarity plus condition equals obsession. Wealthy buyers are locked in fierce competition, sometimes paying sums that sound unbelievable to the average person, just for the chance to own what no one else has. So how do you know if your 1968 penny could be the one? Here's what you need to look for. First, the mint mark. It must be an S, representing the San Francisco Mint, sitting just below the year on Lincoln's portrait. Second, check for doubling in the inscriptions, like Liberty or In God We Trust. These double die errors are jackpot indicators. Third, condition matters more than you think. Coins graded at the highest levels, MS67, MS68, and above, fetch the kind of numbers we're talking about today. And here's the cliffhanger that should leave you restless tonight. Most of the world has no idea what's sitting in their drawers and piggy banks. Every single day, a rare penny is either lost, damaged, or overlooked forever. Will yours be discovered or discarded? Let me leave you with this thought. Wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight in the smallest details of history. The 1968 Lincoln Memorial penny is proof that fortune favors the curious, the ones willing to look closer, to take seriously what others ignore. So here's your call to action. Don't just let this be another story you heard and forgot. Tonight, dig through your jars, your wallets, your family collections, because the next person to uncover a fortune of nearly $1 million might just be you. And when you do, remember this moment, the moment a simple penny opened your eyes to the extraordinary possibilities hidden in the ordinary. Because sometimes the wealthiest treasures aren't out of reach. They're already in your hands. Imagine holding a coin so small it disappears in your palm. A penny. Something we toss into jars, leave under car seats, or drop without a second thought. Now imagine that very penny being worth nearly $1 million. Yes, a single 1-cent coin from 1971, the no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny, has shocked the coin-collecting world with a staggering market value of $971,000. Now, here's the question you need to ask yourself right now. Could one of those life-changing pennies already be sitting in your home, waiting to be discovered? I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth more than a brand-new luxury home? More than most people make in a decade? It sounds impossible. But let me promise you, by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this coin has captivated experts, collectors, and dreamers alike. Before we go further, let me plant a thought in your mind. Every great fortune often hides in plain sight. For some, it's oil in the ground. For others, it's stocks in the right company. For you, it could be a copper coin you've ignored for years. So, what makes this little disc of copper so extraordinary? Let's peel back the story. In 1971, the United States Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies. Most rolled out with mint marks, but a rare batch emerged without any mark at all. And it's this silent, unmarked coin that has now become one of the most hunted treasures in American numismatics. Why does the absence of a mint mark matter? In coin collecting, details are everything. A missing mark isn't just a printing error. It's a rare signature, a fingerprint of history that sets one coin apart from millions of ordinary ones. Think about it like this. You could be standing in a stadium packed with people, but one small detail, the color of a jacket, the sound of a voice, singles you out. For the 1971 penny, that missing mint mark is its voice. Here's where it gets fascinating. The rarity of these coins isn't the only thing driving the value. Condition plays a pivotal role. A flawless, well-preserved specimen can ignite bidding wars at elite auctions. Imagine collectors with deep pockets, each one willing to outspend the next just to own a piece of history the size of your fingertip. Let me pause for a second. Have you checked your coin jar lately? Seriously, when was the last time you looked? Most people ignore theirs for years. And yet, right now, someone could have a retirement fund hidden in plain sight, waiting in the dust of a forgotten drawer. That thought alone should give you goosebumps. Now, what makes the 1971 no-mint mark penny so captivating is not just the rarity but the story behind it. The 1970s were a turning point in America. War, cultural shifts, and economic challenges shaped the nation. The Lincoln penny, already a symbol of endurance and leadership, carried extra weight in those years. Owning one of these rare coins is like holding a fragment of America's story, a piece of resilience, minted in copper. And here's where the plot thickens. Recent auctions have seen this coin climb in value at breathtaking speed. From modest beginnings, the price has skyrocketed to its current standing at $971,000. Collectors whisper that the next record sale could push it past the $1 million mark. Imagine the electricity in the room when that happens. Now let's confront the truth. Millions of Americans are sitting on coins without realizing their value. Fear is a powerful motivator, and the fear here is missing out. Someone else could find the penny that was supposed to be yours. Someone else could claim the wealth you overlooked. But here's the good news. The opportunity is still alive. That 1971 penny could be in circulation, tucked in a family coin jar, or forgotten in a box of keepsakes. And it only takes one discovery to rewrite your financial story forever. So what should you do right now? First, check your coins. Look carefully at every Lincoln penny from 1971. If you don't see a mint mark under the date, pause. Don't spend it. Don't toss it back into circulation. That coin could be the key to generational wealth. Second, educate yourself. Knowledge is leverage in the world of rare coins. Collectors, dealers, and investors are always looking for the next treasure. When you hold that knowledge, you hold power. Let's face it, we live in uncertain times. Inflation eats at savings, markets rise and fall, but treasures like these remind us that wealth can sometimes be hiding in places we least expect. So ask yourself, will you be the one who digs through their old coins and uncovers a fortune? Or will you let this moment slip, while someone else changes their destiny forever? The 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny is more than a coin. It's a reminder that opportunity doesn't always arrive in a business suit or on a stock ticker. Sometimes it jingles in your pocket. And as you leave this video, remember this. Every time you pick up a penny, every time you hear the clink of copper on the counter, you could be holding a ticket to a new life. The only question is, will you recognize it when it's in your hands? Imagine for a moment you're holding a single penny in your hand. Ordinary, brown, worn. A coin that most people wouldn't bend down to pick up off the sidewalk. But what if I told you that a certain 1976 Lincoln Memorial penny, struck with a D mint mark, could be worth not just a few dollars, not just a few thousand, but up to $976,000 in today's market? Yes, you heard that right. A coin most people think is pocket change is, for the rare few who discover it, a golden ticket. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How could a penny minted in 1976, the year of America's bicentennial, possibly carry a value that could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, and the lifestyle of your dreams? Well, that's the story we're about to unfold. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at your old change jar the same way again. Quick question, how many pennies do you have lying around right now? In your dresser? Your car? Your couch cushions? Imagine one of them being the key to financial freedom. Tempting, isn't it? Stick with me because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly why this coin is so valuable, what mistakes to avoid when searching for it, and how you can position yourself to turn a coin most people ignore into life-changing wealth. Let's rewind back to 1976. America was celebrating 200 years of independence. Fireworks, flags, and patriotic parades filled the air. But inside the Denver Mint, where millions of Lincoln Memorial cents were being struck, something happened. A tiny error. A small detail most would never notice. And yet, that's what makes this coin worth close to $1 million today. Here's the secret. Not every 1976 D penny is valuable. In fact, most are worth only face value. But a select few contain errors, striking mistakes, double dies, off-center impressions, and unique variations that slipped past quality control. These anomalies, invisible to the untrained eye, are what collectors are willing to pay fortunes for. Now pause for a second. Doesn't it sound almost unbelievable that a minting error, something the government wanted to hide, could become your greatest financial opportunity? That's the magic of rare coins. Think of it like this. A diamond is just carbon, until rarity and perfection give it value. The same is true for coins. The ordinary becomes extraordinary when collectors can't find enough of them. But here's the real twist. These 1976 D pennies aren't just rare. They're vanishing. Each year, more get lost, damaged, or locked away in private collections, which means the window of opportunity is closing. Imagine stumbling across one today and realizing tomorrow it might have been too late. And just when you thought this couldn't get more intense. Let me tell you about the recent auction where one of these pennies sold for $976,000. Yes, almost $1 million. 1 cent turned into nearly 1 million. That's the kind of leap that doesn't just change your wallet, it changes your entire destiny. Now, let me ask you something. If you had found this penny in your pocket back in 1976, would you have spent it on bubblegum? Or would you have saved it, knowing it would one day pay for a luxury home? Funny to think about, right? That one little bubblegum purchase could have cost you a fortune today, so where does this leave you? Right here at the edge of a choice. Because now you know the secret, that a 1976 D Lincoln Memorial penny could be worth up to $976,000. The only question is, will you act on this knowledge? Or let it slip away? Here's what you must do. Go through your coin jars. Open those old boxes in the attic. Check the pennies you've ignored for years. Look for that 1976 date with the tiny D mint mark under the year. Examine it carefully. Errors matter. Details matter. Your financial freedom could be hiding in plain sight. And here's where the urgency comes in. Every day you wait, someone else is finding coins, selling them, and securing their future. Do you really want to look back a year from now, hearing another story about someone cashing in on their rare penny, and whisper to yourself, that could have been me, this is more than a coin. It's a chance at rewriting your story, to move from surviving to thriving, to transform loose change into lasting wealth. But here's the final cliffhanger. What if I told you that this 1976 D penny isn't even the most valuable Lincoln cent ever discovered? Yes, there are others out there, hiding in circulation, waiting to be found, worth even more than this one. And in my next video, I'm going to reveal them. Coins that could surpass the $1 million mark. Coins that could set you and your family up for life. So before you close this video, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join me on this journey of uncovering hidden treasure in plain sight. Because your future could be resting in the palm of your hand. Imagine walking into your garage, dusting off an old jar of pennies, and inside, hidden in plain sight, is a coin that could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard me right. A single penny from 1978. Now, before you laugh and think, how can 1 cent be worth a fortune? Let me assure you it's no joke. One recently evaluated 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny carries a staggering current market value of $978,000. Almost $1 million for a coin that most people would casually drop into a vending machine. And here's the chilling part. Every single day, rare pennies like this slip through people's hands unnoticed. Someone at the grocery store, someone at the gas station, maybe even you.so. The real question is, what if you already own one of these coins and don't even know it? Let's rewind. The year is 1978. Jimmy Carter is president. Gas is cheap, disco rules the airwaves, and the United States Mint is striking billions of pennies. To most, they're ordinary. Copper coins, stamped with the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But hidden within those billions, there's a rare breed. The 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. These coins were struck in Philadelphia, which traditionally did not use a mint mark. Most are worth face value, maybe a few dollars in pristine condition. But certain extraordinary examples, flawless in strike, dazzling in luster, and virtually untouched by circulation, have become legendary treasures in the world of numismatics. This is where collectors and investors come in. Imagine their heartbeat when they find a penny with razor-sharp details, gleaming surfaces, and no mint mark. That's when ordinary copper transforms into gold. But how does one small difference make such a staggering impact? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and demand. High-grade 1978 no-mint mark pennies, especially those graded mint state 68 or higher, are so scarce that wealthy collectors will pay astronomical sums just to own them. Now, here's a reset for your attention. Quick question. How many pennies do you think you've handled in your lifetime? 1,000? 10,000? Maybe 100,000? Somewhere in that pile, there could have been a life-changing coin, and you might have tossed it into a parking meter without a second thought. That thought alone should make you want to dump out every jar, drawer, and old shoebox you have right now. Still with me? Good, because here's where it gets even more exciting. Today, collectors and auction houses are battling tooth and nail for these rarities. The most pristine 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies are fetching nearly $1 million. Current market value, $978,000. That's not just money, that's a house paid in full, college tuition covered, or even an entire retirement secured from a single coin. But here's the twist. The vast majority of people who own this coin don't realize its potential. They see it as just another penny. And that's the tragedy. Because while one person ignores it, another seizes it and changes their life forever. So what does this mean for you? It means you must act. Don't wait. Don't assume. Don't let fear or doubt stop you. Go through your collection, check your pocket change, and if you find a 1978 no-mint mark penny, have it graded and authenticated. That one decision could unlock generational wealth. Now, I'll leave you with this cliffhanger. Right now, as you're listening, someone else is finding their rare penny, submitting it to auction, and preparing to cash a check worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The question is, will that person be you? Or will you be the one who lets fortune slip quietly through your fingers? Imagine reaching into your pocket for some loose change. A penny, dull and ordinary, the kind you've probably ignored 1,000 times. Now imagine that same penny being worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stay with me, because the 1979 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny could be the tiny piece of copper that changes your entire life. Before you roll your eyes and say, "Come on, it's just a penny," let me stop you right there, because people once said the same about an old baseball card, a misprinted stamp, or a rare comic book. And those collectors, they walked away with fortunes. So here's the truth. Right now, one of these pennies is commanding a market value of $979,000. Yes, a single cent turning into life-changing wealth. If you've been searching for a sign, this is it. But be warned, if you don't know what to look for, you could accidentally spend your fortune at the grocery store checkout. And that, my friend, would hurt. Let's talk about why this penny is so extraordinary. The 1979 Lincoln Memorial cent was struck in Philadelphia. And here's the catch: Philadelphia coins at that time had no mint mark. Most were perfectly ordinary. Billions rolled off the presses, so what makes one penny worth nearly $1 million? It comes down to rarity, condition, and errors so tiny you'd need eagle eyes, or at least a magnifying glass, to catch them. Some of these pennies have sharp, flawless details, pristine red luster, and no marks from circulation. Combine that with misstrikes, double dyes, or unique minting quirks, and suddenly you have a coin that collectors are willing to fight over. Think of it this way. There are people who spend more money on rare pennies than on luxury sports cars. Why? Because unlike a car, a coin like this only grows more valuable with time. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, what if you already have one of these? Sitting in a jar by the door, or in that old coffee can in the garage, or maybe tucked away in your late grandfather's collection. Still think pennies aren't worth your attention? Let's break down the numbers. In average circulated condition, a 1979 no-mint mark penny might be worth a few cents to a few dollars. But in mint state, graded at the highest levels, that's where the magic happens. Auctions have proven it again and again. Collectors are willing to push the price to staggering heights, and the current market has pinned one of these beauties at $979. 000, almost $1 million. From 1 cent now, here's a humorous thought. How many times have you said, keep the change, when tipping? What if that change had been your $1 million penny? Suddenly, generosity feels a little dangerous, doesn't it? So where do we go from here? This is where you need to make a choice. You can continue ignoring pennies, letting opportunity slip through your fingers every time you toss one aside. Or you can start paying attention. Because the people who win in this game are the ones who look closer, search harder, and act faster. The window of opportunity is shrinking. Rare coins don't stay hidden forever, and every day, someone else is discovering theirs. Imagine the fear of realizing you had $1 million penny but spent it at the gas station yesterday. Now imagine the excitement of finding one, holding it in your hand, and knowing you've secured a future of wealth, freedom, and legacy. Which ending do you want? If you're serious about living a wealthy lifestyle, start by checking your change, your coin jars, your collections. Get them appraised, learn to recognize high-value traits, and never underestimate the smallest details. Because sometimes the path to wealth isn't through hard labor or risky investments. It's hidden in plain sight, stamped on a tiny copper coin from 1979, and here's the cliffhanger. What if I told you that this isn't even the most valuable penny out there? That there's another coin even rarer with a price tag that dwarfs $979,000? In my next video, I'll reveal the coin that makes the 1979 penny look like pocket change, so check your pockets tonight. Because the fortune of a lifetime might already be sitting there. Imagine this. You're emptying your pocket change, sifting through a pile of copper-colored pennies, and suddenly, your fingers stop. You're holding what looks like an ordinary coin. But what if I told you that same coin, the 1987 D. Lincoln Memorial penny, could be worth nearly $1 million today? Yes, $987,000. Now, let me ask you a question. If you had that penny right now, would you spend it at the gas station? Or would you hold it in your hand like a golden ticket to financial freedom? Here's the truth. Every single year, thousands of ordinary Americans throw away fortunes without even knowing it, because they don't recognize what's hiding in plain sight. And that's where this story begins. But wait, before we dive in, I need to give you a warning. By the end of this video, you may never look at pocket change the same way again. Let's rewind. The year is 1987. Ronald Reagan is in the White House, the country is buzzing with change, and at the Denver Mint, something extraordinary happens. The Lincoln Memorial penny with the D Mint mark rolls off the presses. Millions were struck, but only a select few carried the errors, the variations, the microscopic differences that would one day transform them from 1 cent into a small fortune. Now you might be thinking, come on, it's just a penny. But here's the catch. Not every penny is created equal. Think about it like baseball cards. 2 cards might look identical, but one has the rare misprint, the 1 in a million detail collectors fight over. Coins work the same way. A small doubling in the lettering, a misplaced mint mark, even the tiniest scratch made by the die, and suddenly, a coin is no longer pocket change. It becomes history. It becomes treasure. And in the case of the 1987 D penny, it becomes life-changing wealth. But hold on, what actually makes this penny worth $987,000 today? That's the million-dollar question. Quite literally. The answer lies in rarity, demand, and condition. A handful of these coins, struck with specific die variations, have been preserved in pristine, almost flawless condition. Professional graders have authenticated them, and collectors with deep pockets are willing to pay nearly $1 million to own one. Let that sink in. Something you could easily overlook in a pile of laundry change could pay off your mortgage, send your kids to college, or fund your dream retirement. And if you're wondering, yes, people have found them. That's the excitement and the fear. Excitement because the possibility is real. Fear because how many of us might have already let one slip through our fingers without ever realizing it. But here's the twist. You can't just grab any 1987 penny and cash it in. There are signs, markers, tells. And if you know what to look for, you might just spot the jackpot. So how do you know if your penny is the one? First, check the condition. Coins with sharp details, no wear, and full original luster command the highest values. Second, look for die errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and unique imperfections. Third, consider certification. A coin graded by a trusted agency like PCGS or NGC is the difference between a pocket coin and a treasure worth hundreds of thousands. Now, let's pause for a second. Humor me here. Imagine calling your spouse into the room, holding up a penny, and saying, "Honey, this is our new house." Sounds crazy, right? But it's not a joke. It's the reality of rare coin collecting. And here's where the urgency kicks in. These coins don't sit on the market forever. Every year, as more collectors lock them away in private collections, fewer remain available. That scarcity only drives prices higher. So ask yourself this. Will you be the person who shrugs off a penny as worthless? Or the one who takes a closer look, spots the treasure, and changes your life forever? The 1987 Lincoln Memorial Penny isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that opportunity hides in the smallest places. That wealth often whispers before it shouts. And if you've stayed with me this long, here's the cliffhanger. The 1987 isn't the only modern penny worth a fortune. There are others hiding in circulation right now, waiting to be found. So don't walk away. In my next video, I'll reveal another common penny that could be worth millions, and you just might have it already. Imagine this. You're holding a simple penny. Brown, ordinary, almost forgettable. You drop it on the counter without thinking. But what if that same coin could secretly be worth $989,000? Yes, nearly $1 million hiding in plain sight, tucked inside your change jar. Now I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth that much?
Sounds impossible.
But stay with me, because today, I'm going to reveal why one of the most common coins in America, the 1989 Lincoln Memorial Penny without a mint mark, has been valued at nearly $1 million. And by the end of this video, you'll understand not just why, but how you can discover if you're holding one of these life-changing treasures. But first, let me ask you this. How many pennies have you thrown away, ignored, or even vacuumed up over the years? It hurts to think about, doesn't it? That's the fear every coin collector has. The possibility that you've already let a fortune slip through your fingers, and trust me, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Let's step back for a moment. The year was 1989. America was changing fast. The Berlin Wall was falling, technology was taking its first big leap, and yet in the quiet halls of the U.S. Mint, something extraordinary was happening. The Lincoln Memorial Penny was being struck by the millions. But here's the twist. Not every penny was created equal. Some came from the Denver Mint with a small d, others from San Francisco with an S. But a select group left the mint without any mark at all. No letter, no clue, just silence on the face of the coin. Now pause for a second. Doesn't that make you curious? Why would the absence of one tiny letter make a coin worth a fortune? It's because rarity drives value. And in the world of numismatics, the smallest mistake, the slightest deviation, can create a legend. Imagine two identical cars rolling off the assembly line. One of them has a tiny flaw that makes it unique. Which one do collectors fight for? The flawed one. And the same rule applies here. And this is where things get exciting. Because some of these 1989 no-mint mark pennies not only survived, but they survived in pristine condition. Perfect, untouched. And when those coins hit the auction block, bidding wars erupted. That's how we reach today's jaw-dropping market value, $989,000 for a single coin. Now let me interrupt myself for a second. If you're suddenly picturing your couch cushions like a gold mine, you're not alone. I can't tell you how many people have messaged me saying, "I checked my junk drawer right after your last video." And hey, if you've ever used a penny to scratch a lottery ticket, well, maybe you scratched away your chance at being a millionaire. Back to the point. These coins aren't just metal. They're pieces of history. And more importantly, they're proof that wealth can hide where you least expect it. Now here's the moment of truth. How do you know if the penny sitting in your hand is the one that could change your life? Look for the year, 1989. Step 2. Check just under the date. Do you see a D or an S? If not, if it's blank, you might just have something extraordinary. Step 3. Condition is everything. The shinier, the sharper, the more flawless, the higher the value. And here's the part that keeps collectors awake at night. Many of these million-dollar pennies are still out there. In jars, in pockets, in boxes passed down from parents and grandparents. Every day that goes by without checking means someone else could find it before you. So ask yourself, are you willing to take that risk? Or are you ready to take action right now? Because wealth doesn't wait. Fortune favors the prepared. And all it takes is one coin, one penny, to rewrite your financial future forever. Imagine for a moment, you're digging through an old jar of coins in your kitchen cabinet. Most of them look ordinary. Brown, worn out, nothing special. But then one coin catches your eye. A 1994 Lincoln Memorial penny. No mint mark. Just a penny, right? Worth 1 cent. But what if I told you that little coin, the one people toss on sidewalks without a second thought, could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard me right. A single 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has shocked collectors and is commanding a jaw-dropping current market value of $994,000. That's almost $1 million for a coin most people ignore. Now, here's the scary part. Most people who own this coin don't even realize it. They spend it on a pack of gum. They let it vanish into circulation. And with every passing day, the chance of you holding this life-changing coin gets smaller and smaller. Stick with me because over the next few minutes I'll reveal why this penny is so special, how to know if you already have one, and the exact steps you need to take if you ever get lucky enough to find it. And let me warn you, once you hear what makes this coin so rare, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. So, what makes the 1994 no mint mark penny so extraordinary? Let's start with a quick history lesson. By 1994, the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies. Most were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Normally, you'd see a little mint mark, a tiny D, S, or sometimes nothing at all. But in extremely rare cases, a combination of minting errors, die polishing, or missing marks can transform an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. That's exactly what happened in 1994. A tiny fraction of Lincoln Memorial cents slipped through the cracks with no mint mark. On the surface, they look like every other penny. But to collectors, they are like hidden treasure, a secret coded lottery ticket hiding in plain sight. Now, here's the exciting twist. These coins aren't just rare. They're in demand. And demand means value. One of these pennies, in pristine condition, has been valued at nearly $1 million. Imagine flipping over a coin in your palm and realizing it could buy you a luxury home or wipe out every debt you've ever had. But let's pause here. Quick question. How many pennies do you think are currently sitting in jars, piggy banks, or couch cushions across America right now? Billions. And out of those billions, only a handful hold this kind of power. The odds are terrifying, but also thrilling. Because what if your jar isn't just full of pennies, but full of possibility? So, what does this all mean for you? It means you cannot ignore your spare change. You cannot assume every penny is worthless. Because the truth is, the coin that changes your life might already be sitting in your home. Here's what you need to do. Tonight, go through your coins. Look for the 1994 Lincoln Memorial cent, flip it. Study it carefully. If there's no mint mark under the date, hold on to it. protect it, get it professionally graded. Because the difference between an ordinary penny and a nearly $1 million treasure comes down to condition, authenticity, and timing. And let me be clear, timing matters. Coins like this don't stay secret forever. Once the market catches on, the value can shift. Today, it's $994,000. Tomorrow, it could be more or less. The window of opportunity is right now, so here's the cliffhanger you can't afford to ignore. What if you already passed this coin on to a cashier? What if it's sitting in your car's cup holder, unnoticed? Or worse, what if you've had it all along, but never bothered to check? That's the fear that should drive you. That's the urgency that should wake you up. Because here's the truth. Wealth doesn't always come in gold bars or real estate. Sometimes it hides in copper-plated zinc. Sometimes it jingles in your pocket. And if you're ready to stop overlooking the wealth right in front of you, then it's time to act. Search your coins. Protect your finds. And remember this, the road to a wealthy lifestyle might just begin with a penny. Imagine this. You're reaching into an old jar of coins, the kind that's been sitting in the kitchen for years. You pull out a simple copper-colored penny. Nothing special. Just 1 cent, right? But what if I told you that one of those pennies, the 2007 Lincoln Memorial cent with no mint mark, could be worth over $200,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. A single coin, face value 1 cent, commanding a market price of $207,000. Now, before you roll your eyes and toss that penny back in the jar, pause for a second. Because if you're between the ages of 30 and 65, like most of my viewers, this story could literally change your financial destiny. And here's the kicker. Most people who owned one of these coins never even knew. They spent it on a stick of gum, or worse, let it vanish into circulation forever. That's not just tragic. That's heartbreaking. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll reveal what makes the 2007 no mint mark Lincoln cent so extraordinary, how a simple oversight by the US Mint turned into a 6-figure jackpot, and most importantly, how you can tell if the penny in your pocket might be worth more than your car, your home, or even your retirement account. But fair warning, this story is not for the faint of heart. By the end, you'll either feel the thrill of possibility or the regret of knowing you might have already let a fortune slip through your fingers. Ready? Let's dig in. So why is the 2007 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark such a big deal? First, let's remember, 2007 was supposed to be business as usual for the mint. Billions of pennies struck. Philadelphia coins came with no mint mark. Denver with a D. Easy. Predictable. Nothing to see here. But then came the mistake. A rare error in striking, die alignment, and in some cases, mysterious blank planchets that made certain coins stand out from the billions. Here's where the magic happens. Collectors, sharp-eyed and relentless, started noticing slight differences in the 2007 no mint mark coins. At first, nobody believed the whispers. After all, who takes a penny seriously? But one day, a coin crossed the auction block. A pristine, gem-quality 2007 no mint mark Lincoln cent. And when the hammer dropped, the room went silent. The winning bid? $207,000. Now let me ask you this. If that penny had slipped through your hands at the gas station, how would you feel today? I'm not trying to scare you, but I am, because this is the reality. Every single day, coins like this vanish into circulation, never to be seen again. Here's the pattern. Interrupt. Think about it. We waste money on coffee we don't finish. We tip delivery drivers more than the face value of this penny. And yet, 1 single cent could secretly out-earn your entire monthly paycheck. Isn't that wild? So what exactly should you look for? Comes down to condition, rarity, and error. Brilliant uncirculated coins. Flawless strikes. No mint mark visible. And sometimes, subtle variations that only experts can spot. Double dies, off-centers, or misaligned dies. But don't panic. I'll walk you through how to check your coins in just a moment. For now, keep this in mind: the rarer the condition, the higher the stakes. And here's the cliffhanger, because there's one specific detail about this coin that almost everyone misses. And it could mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth a house. I'll reveal that in just a moment. So, What's the hidden detail that separates an ordinary 2007 no-mint mark penny from a record-breaking jackpot? It's the grade. See, the professional grading companies, PCGS and NGC, don't just look at whether the coin has a mint mark. They examine the luster, the strike, the tiniest imperfections. Out of billions of coins, only a handful survive in near-perfect gem-quality condition. And those are the coins that bring life-changing money. This is why so many people miss out. They find a penny, shrug, and assume it's worthless. They don't bother checking condition. They don't submit it for grading. And just like that, opportunity slips through their hands forever. But you know better now. And here's where the urgency comes in. Every day that passes, more of these coins disappear into private collections. The supply shrinks, the demand rises, and the chance of you stumbling across one in pocket change, it gets slimmer with every sunrise SO. Let me ask you, when was the last time you checked your change? Your coin jars? That little box in your closet filled with forgotten coins from years ago? Because the next great discovery could literally be sitting under your roof right now. That I'll leave you with this thought. A penny is supposed to represent the smallest unit of American money. The thing we toss aside, the thing kids ignore on sidewalks. And yet, hidden within the ordinary, lies the extraordinary. Maybe the real lesson of the 2007 no-mint mark penny isn't just about coins. Maybe it's about life itself, that the things we overlook often carry the greatest value. So don't overlook your chance. Go check your coins today, because if you find the right one, your life might never be the same again. And if you're ready to learn which other pennies, nickels, and dimes could secretly be worth millions, stay tuned. The next video will blow your mind even more.